So, good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, so students, I hope you remember yesterday we were talking about type 1 hypersensitivity reactions or the allergic reactions, and we have discussed its history, the classification of hypersensitivity reactions, and we were talking about the different components of type 1 hypersensitivity reactions. So we have already discussed IgE and the Fc epsilon R1, right? The receptor for IgE, which is present on the mast cells and the blood basophils, right? So I'll just continue from there. So we have already seen two components. So let me share the slides. Okay, students, so this was the receptor about which we talked yesterday. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So we talked about the Fc epsilon R1, which has three chains or which has four chains. One is your alpha chain, beta chain, and two gamma chain, which are disulfide linked. And this is, the alpha chain, it has two Ig like domains. And this is the point where, the antibody IgE will come and bind. Okay. So now let's see what happens next. Okay. So IgE binding Fc receptors. So we have already discussed this. So I'm not going to discuss this now. Okay. So these are high affinity receptors. So the Fc epsilon R1 is your high affinity receptor. It binds IgE with high affinity. Okay. So it binds with very high affinity and it enables the Fc receptor to bind IgE despite very low serum concentration of IgE, right? And there are around 40,000 to 90,000 FcR1 molecule present on a human basophil. So students, just imagine एक छोटा सा basophil है, उसके ऊपर भी there are almost 90,000 receptors for this IgE. So you can just imagine उस एक छोटे से सेल पे कितने सारे receptors present हैं, right? So I'm not going to discuss the structure because we have already seen the structure. Okay, so this is important. FcR1 interacts with CH3 and CH4 domains of IgE via the two Ig like domains. So if you see this structure, so as I said, CH3 domain, so CH3 domain is here and the CH4 domain here. So these two domains, they interact with the Ig like domain of the alpha chain. Okay, so जब इन दोनों का इंटरेक्शन होता है then this IgE binds. Okay. Okay. So next, I said that there is ITAM. Okay. Now again, if you see this picture, there is ITAM, right? And it is on the chain, the which is on the cytoplasmic side, right? So it has a very long cytoplasmic tail, and this contains ITAM. So let's see. So each chain have a conserved sequence in the cytosolic domain, and this sequence is called the immunoreceptor tyrosine based activation motif. So students, ITAM stands for immunoreceptor tyrosine based activation motif. Okay. So, this is the point where the signaling will start, because जब वो पूरी signaling होगी, then it will lead to degranulation, right? So ITAM motif on these receptors, they interact with protein tyrosine kinase. Okay, so you have these ITAM motifs. इस पे क्या bind करेगा? The protein tyrosine kinase. Okay, and when these tyrosine kinase interact with ITAM, they induce an activation signal to the cell. Okay, so अभी इसको डिटेल में नहीं जाते. Let's understand the mechanism first. Okay. Okay. Now, we have IgE. Now, this IgE must be cross-linked, okay, to initiate degranulation. Okay. Now, see what happens here. Through IgE, there should be receptor cross-linkage. ओके, सो वो जो तुम्हारे रिसेप्टर्स हैं FC एप्सिलॉन R1, उनका क्रॉस लिंकेज होना चाहिए. और क्रॉस लिंकेज कैसे होगा? थ्रू द एलर्जन. ओके, सो IgE mediated degranulation begins when an allergen, okay, allergen has to do this role, cross links IgE that is bound to FC receptor. ठीक है, so अब let me explain this. So you have a cell, on the cell you have these receptors, on these receptors you have IgE molecule, right? And as I said, there should be cross linkage. Okay, so when an allergen comes and bind to these IgE molecules, now you can see they are cross-linked. Okay, so अब ये पूरा सिग्नल रेडी हो गया, राइट? सब लिंक हो गया. जब ये लिंकिंग होगी तो ये जो रिसेप्टर्स पे जो आगे जो ITAMs हैं, they get activated, right? So in itself, binding of IgE to these receptors has no effect on target cell. सिर्फ ये IgE आके bind करेगा तो कुछ नहीं होगा, but जब second time allergen आएगा, then the process of degranulation starts. Okay, only after allergen cross-links the fixed IgE receptor complex that the degranulation proceeds. Okay, so students, you can see it's regulated, and that is the reason why on the very first interaction with the allergen nothing happens. क्योंकि जब पहली बार एलर्जन आता है तो IgE बनता है, वो IgE जाके बाइंड करता है ऑन द रिसेप्टर्स ऑफ मास्ट सेल्स एंड बेसोफिल. बात खत्म. अब योर सेल इज हैविंग IgE on the mast cells. Okay, so जब next time second exposure to the allergen होगा, in that case it will obviously come and bind to the FAB region. Okay, and when this allergen binds to the FAB region of the IgE, that the degranulation process starts. Okay. Okay, so experiments have revealed that there are essential step in degranulation is cross-linking of two or more FcR1, right? So अभी हमने जैसे पिक्चर में देखा, there are two FC receptors जिनकी cross-linking हुई है. Okay, this is required. Okay, picture and it would be more clear to you. So you can see your, this is mast cell, this is your FC receptor, जिस पे IgE bind किया, and then the allergen is cross-linking it, right? So this is what I am talking about. Okay, allergen cross linkage of cell bound IgE, right? Now this cross linking, so students, as I said, a lot of time it is non-allergen based activation, right? So जरूरी नहीं है कि हर बार allergen होगा, right? Sometime an antibody can cross link IgE. So you can see here in this case, this antibody, okay, this is the anti-isotype antibody. Isotype is against the heavy chain, okay. So this antibody can cross-link, right? Or it could be anti-idiotype. I'm sure you know what is this. It is against the variable region domain, okay. So it can bind here and cross-link, right? Sometimes a chemical can do this work, right? So a chemical can cross-link these antibodies, okay. It could be anti-receptor antibodies. Sometimes you don't even need this IgE bound to it, right? Antibody can directly cross-link the receptors, okay. So there are different ways by which this cross-linking can occur, and if this cross-linking occurs, the process of degranulation will start. So students, if you just remember this picture, so you will find this picture in Cubase itself, and if you just remember this part, you will understand the process of type 1 hypersensitivity reaction, right? Okay. Okay, just let's take a break. I just need to come in 2 minutes. Okay, so just give me a time of 2 minutes. I'll just talk to one of the students and come back. Okay. Meantime, what you can do is just read this process. So students, you must have seen this. Okay. So अभी तक मैंने जो तुम्हें बताया, what I have already told you is about these FC epsilon R1. right? So you can see this is your Fc epsilon R1. This is one receptor and this is the second receptor. ठीक है, क्रॉस लिंकिंग होने के लिए यू नीड एटलीस्ट टू रिसेप्टर्स. So you can see two receptors. What is binding to these receptors? It's your IgE, right? So CH3 domain and CH4 domain से it is interacting with the alpha chain, right? Now, when the allergen comes into the body for the first time, IgE is made, and that IgE goes and bind to these receptors. Okay. Now, in that case, the person is said to be sensitized. Okay. Now the person is sensitized, but there is no symptom, right? Because जो इसके नीचे का ये सारा process है, it has not started. Okay. Now what happens when the same allergen enters into the body for the second time? Okay. Now obviously that allergen will go and bind to its antibody, right? So it goes and bind here, and now you can see it has bound to two IgE which were bound to the receptors. So this allergen has cross-linked the two receptors, right? So सारी initiation की story यहाँ पे है. Okay. Now if you remember, I told you about ITAMs, and where are the ITAMs? ITAMs are on the gamma chain, right? और फिर मैंने बताया था उन ITAMs पे क्या जाके बाइंड करता है, प्रोटीन टायरोसिन काइनेज PTK. Okay, so I don't know students how much you know about the signaling process, but in this field of immunology and related subjects, these signaling molecules or signaling pathways are very interesting. Just imagine एक सेल को हम कह रहे हैं कि सिग्नल मिला, right? Now something from outside has triggered a pathway. Okay, allergen आया, allergen bind हुआ, and a signal has started, right? और ये different molecules से होते it will give the signal to the granules that now it's the time that you should release the granular content. Okay, तो अगर हम इसी चीज को step wise देखें, okay, so these are the biochemical events in mast cell activation and degranulation, right? So हमने allergen cross linkage की बात कर ली है. So allergen cross linkage of bound IgE results in Fc epsilon R1 aggregation. ठीक है, ये receptors aggregate हो जाते हैं, and activation of protein tyrosine kinase, right? So you can see your protein tyrosine kinase. Okay, it gets activated. Okay, अब हम one by one चलते हैं. Step 1 यहाँ पे. Okay, so students, again I am saying, if you see it as a picture, it may look complicated. Okay, but if you will break it down into steps, जैसे अभी मैंने सिर्फ first step बताया, allergen binding to IgE which is bound to the receptor. So this is first step, very easy, very simple, इसमें कुछ भी नहीं. ठीक है. Now let's see the first point. So you have these protein tyrosine kinase, then phosphorylates phospholipase C. So you can see this phospholipase C. ये जो protein tyrosine kinase है, it adds a phosphate group to this. Okay, which converts phosphatidylinositol 4,5 bisphosphate PIP to dialyl glycerol DAG. ठीक है, अब ये एक सिग्नल शुरू हो गया, right? You can also imagine it as a kind of human chain, right? कि मुझे एक सिग्नल मिला, मुझे किसी ने कुछ बताया. Okay, now I am telling the same thing to the next person. Okay, just for example, एक बहुत सिंपल एग्जांपल लेता हूँ. क्लास में 20 बच्चे बैठे हैं, ठीक है, एक बिल्कुल एंड में बैठा है और एक दरवाजे के पास बैठा है, राइट? So जो सबसे पीछे स्टूडेंट बैठा है वो अपने आगे वाले को कहता है कि दरवाजा बंद करना है, ठीक है। वो स्टूडेंट अपने आगे वाले को बोलता है कि दरवाजा बंद करना है, ठीक है। वो अपने से आगे वाले को सिग्नल देता है कि दरवाजा बंद करना है। अल्टीमेटली वो सिग्नल पहुंचते 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 जो सबसे आगे बंदा बैठा है, बच्चा बैठा है, उसके पास वो मैसेज जाता है कि दरवाजा बंद करना है, ठीक है। और वो स्टूडेंट उठता है और दरवाजे को बंद कर देता है, राइट। तो ये एक सिग्नल मूव किया फ्रॉम वन पॉइंट टू अनदर, और जो उसका इफेक्ट था दरवाजा बंद करना वो हो गया, ओके। सो यहां भी वही चीज हो रही है. This protein tyrosine kinase is adds a phosphate group to PIP, okay, then it gets converted to DAG, right? Now what this DAG does, DAG यहाँ से point 2, DAG activates protein kinase C, okay, so you can see जो inactive protein kinase C था उसको activate कर दिया, right? Which with calcium is necessary for microtubular assembly and the fusion of granules with the plasma membrane, right? So यहाँ से ये जब PKC activate हुआ, so it along with the help of calcium, okay, it helps in microtubule formation and the fusion of this granule with the membrane, right? So ये जो granule होता है ये membrane की तरफ move होता है and then it fuses with the membrane, right? और जब ये fuse करता है then all the content comes out, okay? So हमने first step देख लिया, हमने second step देख लिया. Now let's see the third one. Now cross linkage of Fc epsilon R1 also activate an enzyme that convert phosphatidyl serine into phosphatidyl anulamine, okay. So now this PC gets converted to, so your PS gets converted to PE, right? Okay, eventually PE is methylated to form phosphatidyl choline, so this now forms PC, okay. With the help of the enzyme PMT, which is your phospholipid methyl transferase enzyme 1 and 2, okay. Now your PC has increased. The accumulation of PC on the exterior surface of the plasma membrane causes an increase in membrane fluidity and facilitate the formation of calcium ion channels, right? So अब calcium ion channels बन गए, राइट. इसकी वजह से क्या होगा, जितना भी बाहर कैल्शियम था इट स्टार्ट्स टू गेट इनसाइड द सेल एंड वी नीड कैल्शियम हियर, राइट. ओके, द रिजल्टिंग इन्फ्लक्स ऑफ कैल्शियम एक्टिवेट फॉस्फोलाइपेज ए, राइट, which promote the breakdown of PC into lysophosphatidylcholine, right. So ये वाला प्रोसेस चलना शुरू हो जाएगा, right. And then you have another thing, this cross linkage also activates membrane adenylate cyclase, right. So membrane के अंदर ही adenylate cyclase है, leading to a transient increase of CAMP level, right. So you can see सेल के अंदर CAMP level increase होना शुरू हो जाएगा, okay, leading to transient increase of CMP within 15 seconds. A later drop in CMP level is mediated by protein kinase and is required for degranulation to proceed. Okay, so CMP level बढ़ेगा तो degranulation process शुरू होगा. Okay, so if you remember हमने जब एपिनेफ्रीन की बात करी थी तो हमने कहा था एपिनेफ्रीन CMP levels को घटाएगा, right? It does the opposite. Okay, so ultimately all these pathways then push this granule towards the membrane and ultimately it leads to its fusion and is granule के अंदर जितना भी content है, and what is that content? So that is your leukotrienes, prostaglandins, histamines, right? So all those things move out of the cell and cause vasodilation and smooth muscle contraction. Okay, so students, I've tried to explain this with this picture. Okay, but you can also, open Cubase and you can read this paragraph. Okay, it talks about the intracellular events that regulate mast cell degradation. Okay, it talks about this in detail. So जिसमें protein tyrosine kinase है. We have already talked about the beta chain, alpha chain, gamma chain, right? So जो मैंने अभी picture में बताया है, that you can also find in this written text, and you can read it and understand it. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
So I'm sure तुम्हें अभी ये पूरा समझ नहीं आया होगा, ठीक है, और इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट पहली बार में इसको समझना. बट यस, अगेन व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज, शाम को जब भी टाइम मिले, सिट डाउन विद दिस फोटोग्राफ, उसका ब्रेक डाउन करो स्टेप वाइज. ओके, एंड you will be able to understand this. Okay, okay, any questions here? Okay, students, so you know, by the time you are absorbing whatever I have just explained, so in the meantime we can have attendance, and after attendance we will talk about how you can detect allergic reactions. Okay, now suppose you have allergy, you will go to the doctor. Now how you can test if you have allergic reaction or is it something else? So we will talk about that after attendance. So students, be ready. Adish,
Yes, sir.
Adish, you are not visible.
Uh, am I visible now, sir?
कुछ blur सा. Yes, now it's fine. Yes, Atoiba,
Present, sir.
Ayushi,
Present, sir.
Sam, Devanshi,
Present, sir.
Ishita, Janvi, Janvi, Kshitij, Manaswani,
Present, sir.
Namrita,
Present, sir.
Nandini, Nandini, Nehal,
Present, sir.
Rupal,
Present, sir.
Sanjana,
Present, sir.
Sahiba, Shakti,
Present, sir.
okay, Shivani,
Present, sir.
Tanvi, Tanvi,
Sir.
Tridev, Vanshika,
Present, sir.
Vivek,
Present, sir.
Yukta,
Present, sir.
Yuvraj.
Present, sir.
Okay, okay. Okay, so students, now you have understood the mechanism of type 1 hypersensitivity. Now, next very important thing is how you can detect hypersensitivity, type 1 reaction. Okay, so now let me share the slides again. Okay, so students, if we talk about the detection, okay, so it is commonly identified and assessed by skin testing. Okay, so it's a very simple test. What we do here is a small amount of potential allergen is taken, okay, and it is introduced at specific skin site by intradermal injection, okay, or just by superficial scratching, okay. But this superficial scratching is not a good practice. So usually what we do is we take small amount of potential allergen, like just for example, you go to the doctor and you tell that I have some allergy, right? So doctor will ask किस चीज से allergy. Now suppose you say that I have, usually when I take bath with a specific soap, then I get these rashes, okay. The doctor will see that okay, in this soap there are four things which can cause allergy. So you can have that four allergens in small amount, and they can be injected intradermally. And once it is done, if you are allergic to that particular component, you will see the PK reaction, right, or the wheel and flare reaction. So there will be redness around that point. Okay. Now the good thing about the skin testing is that number of tests can be applied to sites on forearm. So you can use this area, and if you remember the very first picture I showed you, lot of allergens were injected intradermally on the forearm, right? Or agar you want to test more, you can use the back of an individual at one time. So एक बार में you can screen out lot of allergens, right? Uh, so if the person is allergic to out of those 10, if a person is allergic to one of them, local mast cell degranulation will happen, and it will release histamine and other mediators, and that will produce a wheel and flare reaction within 30 minutes. So you just need to wait for 30 minutes or 1 hour, and if you are allergic, then you will see that redness around that particular point. Okay, so it's a very simple thing. You just need potential allergen, inject it and wait for half an hour, and you can check if you are allergic to that particular thing or not. Okay, so the advantage is that it is obviously inexpensive, okay, and it allows screening of large number of allergen at one time, okay. But it has some major drawbacks, okay. It has disadvantage is that it sometimes sensitizes the allergic individual to new allergens, and in some rare cases may induce systemic anaphylactic shock. Okay, now suppose students, you are allergic to a particular substance, okay, but you have never come in contact with that allergen, right? But if I'm injecting that, right? So obviously when the body will see it, it will produce antibodies. Those IgE will go and bind to your mast cells, right? And when if by chance you get in contact with the real allergen later on, then you can have that reaction, right? Suppose if an individual, so that is one scenario, right? You may have never come in contact, but by artificially doing this skin test, you have injected that allergen into the body, right? Now sometimes what happens, a person may be already sensitized, because I don't know if I'm sensitized or not. But when you are giving this intradermal injection, you are injecting the allergen for the second time. And in that case, there can be allergic reaction, right? So that is a major disadvantage of skin testing. So, this is not encouraged now because we have more sensitive and safer techniques now. Okay, so one of the technique is RIST, 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 and this is radio immunosorbent test. Okay, RIST. Now what we do in this, it's a method to determine serum levels of total IgE, right? So हमने पहले भी बात की थी कि अगर एलर्जी होगी तो आपकी बॉडी में IgE लेवल्स बढ़ जाएंगे, right? So RIST helps in determining the serum level of IgE in your body. Okay, serum में IgE का level कितना है? Okay, it's a highly sensitive technique based on radioimmunoassay. Okay, students, now you could have said that, sir, why to do radio labeled, right? Why can't we just do ELISA? Okay, because ELISA is not that sensitive, and when you are talking about IgE, you already know it has a very low level in your serum. So you need more sensitive test to look for the level of IgE. Okay, it is so sensitive that it can detect even nanomolar levels of total immunoglobulin E in your blood. Okay, now इसमें हम करते क्या हैं? So patient serum is reacted. So पहले तो patient का serum लेते हैं. Okay, it is reacted with agarose bead, okay, which is coated with anti-IgE, right? So we are taking an agarose bead and we are putting anti-IgE on it. Anti-IgE मतलब IgE के against antibody, right? Those beads or discs are washed, and then 125 iodine labeled rabbit anti-IgE is added. Okay, don't worry, I'll just show you the picture to explain this. Radioactivity of beads is then measured in the gamma counter. Okay, and it is proportional to the level of IgE in the patient serum. So अब इसको यहाँ पे समझो. Okay, so हमने एक bead ली, right? It could be agarose bead, it could be paper bead or anything, right? Just a small, bead, right? उस bead पे हम क्या करते हैं? We put anti-IgE. Okay, so you have pasted anti-IgE on this bead, right? Now you add patient serum. Patient के serum में IgE होगा, right? So now you can see this is your bead, this is your anti-IgE, और जो भी patient के serum में IgE होगी वो bind कर जाएगी, right? So binding हो गई. Now you do the washing step. तो जो भी unbound IgE होगी वो सब wash हो जाएगी, right? Then you add radio labeled anti-IgE. Again we are using antibody, but this is radio labeled. Okay. Now again this is against IgE, so it will go and bind to IgE, right? Now again you do the washing step. So जो भी unbound radio labeled anti-IgE होगी वो wash away हो जाएगी, and then whatever is there in the solution you can put it in the gamma counter and you can know the levels of IgE, right? So it's a very simple process. So this is called RIST. And what RIST tells? It tells about the serum concentration of total IgE. Okay. Now students, IgE level पता लग गया, right? But again इसमें एक छोटी सी problem है. The problem is I get to know that yes I am allergic. Okay, क्योंकि मेरे IgE levels बढ़े हुए हैं. But there can be a problem. मे बी मेरे को एलर्जी हो ही ना, मेरे में कोई पैरासाइट घुसा हो, बिकॉज यू नो आईजी का रोल क्या होता है? आईजी का रोल है व्हेन देयर इज पैरासिटिक इन्फेक्शन आईजी लेवल्स इंक्रीज, राइट? सो दिस टेस्ट will not tell you whether the increase in IgE is because of allergy or because of a parasitic infection, right? ये तो सिर्फ इतना बताएगी कि आपका IgE लेवल बढ़ा हुआ है. ओके, एक तो ये प्रॉब्लम हो गई. दूसरा, ये मुझे ये नहीं बताएगी कि आई एम एलर्जिक टू व्हाट, राइट? आई एम एलर्जिक, आई एम हैविंग दिस एलर्जिक रिएक्शन, माय आईजी लेवल हैज इंक्रीज्ड, बट आई एम एलर्जिक टू व्हाट? दिस टेस्ट विल नॉट टेस्ट. सो देयर इज अनदर टेस्ट, मोर रिफाइंड, right, more specific, which is called RAST. Okay, so this is radio allergo sorbent test. Okay, now here we are talking about allergo or allergen, right? So this test, it detects serum level of IgE specific for a given allergen, right? So this is specific test. ये आपको बताएगा whether you are allergic to nuts, whether you are allergic to poison, whether you are allergic to, you know, some component, whatever component you are talking about. So it is a specific test. Okay, this will tell you whether you are allergic to dust, you are allergic to pollen, whether you are allergic to hair danders, whatever, right? So in this case, what we are doing is we are coupling the allergen to the beads, okay, and then patient serum is added and unbound antibody is washed away, and the same steps we are following. Okay, now see here, this is your bead, and to the bead we have added the allergen, right? So you can make, you know, hundreds of such beads. You can make another bead which is having another allergen. Okay, you can have more beads with more allergens, so whatever you do, but you have allergens which are coupled to this solid phase, right? Now you add the patient sample. You can see in the patient, you know, there is IgE against different allergens. Okay, now after incubation, the bound allergen which is specific to that, you know, so if there is IgE against this allergen, it will bind, right? And then we will do the washing step and all others will, you know, be washed away. Then we are adding the radio labeled anti-IgE. It's the same that we used in the previous test. Okay, so it will go and bind to this IgE, right? And then we again do the washing step. Whatever unbound radio labeled anti-IgE are present, they are washed away, and then we can measure it in the gamma counter and we can know the level of IgE, and this time it is specific IgE. Okay, clear? Okay.
Yes,
Okay, any questions or queries related to this? So students, again, this is a very important topic. You can get, differentiate between these two techniques, or the mechanisms of detection of type 1 hypersensitivity reactions. So this is very important. Okay. Okay, so there is one more topic after this. So हमें मैकेनिज्म भी पता लग गया, हमें कैसे डिटेक्ट करना है ये भी पता लग गया. ओके, इसको डिटेक्ट करने के लिए अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस देयर आर फ्यू अदर मेथड्स. आई जस्ट शो यू दैट. Okay, so I have taken this from one of the review articles, and it says other methods to detect type 1 hypersensitivity reaction includes leukocyte histamine release assay. Okay, so basically in this test we are looking for the histamine release, right? So you can analyze how much of histamine is present in the serum, right? So rather than checking for IgE or by skin testing or any other method, you can look for the levels of histamines, right? So that is one method. Other is surfer marker for basophil activation, right? So students, again, I don't know if you know this, but when a cell is in its inactive form, right, it do not express some molecules on its surface, but when it gets activated, it produces some markers or some proteins on its surface, right? So students, we haven't discussed this, but the cell at different stages of its growth and differentiation, it expresses different markers, right? So students, like, you can see a child, right, and you can identify, okay, this is an infant, this is a teenager, this is a young adult, this is maybe an old person, right? So you can identify, right, by seeing. So we, by different ways, we can also identify at which stage the cell is, right? Whether it's a new cell, whether it's a naive cell, whether it's an activated state, whether it is in its inactivated stage, because at each stage it expresses some different molecules, right? So we know that when a basophil is activated, it shows these particular molecules on its surface. So you can always look for the surface markers for basophil activation. Okay, and then you can also look for leukotriene release test, how much leukotriene is being released. So there are as research keeps going on, we try to find more and more methods, but these methods are not very popular at the moment, right? Because the kits for rest and rast, they are easily available and they have been in the market for so many times, so they are comparatively very cheap. So you don't need to do all these tests, right? But yes, the scientists, they keep working to find newer and newer solutions. So this is again different methods by which you can do such tests, but for you at this level, you just need to focus on rest and rast, okay, and skin testing, right? Okay, so students, any other question? Any other question?
No, sir.
Okay, so maybe then I'll end the class now, and When do we have our next class? Tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning, I will first start with, treatment of hypersensitivity. What kind of drugs are available to treat type 1 hypersensitivity reactions? And then we will start with type 2 hypersensitivity. Okay, students?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, students. I'm ending the class now.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.